Hey guys, my name is Kayla Rain, and today is the last day of BookTubeAthon, which means I am sharing my wrap-up a little bit early because I'm pretty positive I've read all I am going to read within the time constraints of this readathon. So I will just go through and quickly tell you what I've read, give a short little review and a rating, and then I will break it down and tell you guys how many pages I read and just how I felt about the entire experience as a whole. So these are in no particular order of how I read them during the BookTubeAthon, it's just how I have them stacked in my lap here, so I'm just gonna present them as they are. So I finished The One and Only Ivan by Catherine Applegate, and I ended up giving this a 4 out of 5 stars. This is a book about an ape who is in captivity. His name is Ivan, and it just tells the story through his point of view. Very interesting, very sad at points, but altogether a very heartwarming story, and I thought that it was just really well written and a very quick and easy read. And this was for the challenge of read 7 books, but that didn't happen, so I'm gonna have to change this to read a book with blue on the cover because this kind of has some blue up here. Next, I have We Should All Be Feminists by Chimimanda Ngozi Adichie. This was for the challenge to read the book that you last acquire. And this was my only 5-star read in this readathon. Boy, was this fantastic. This is an essay that just discusses why everyone should really and truly be a feminist, and it is well written, very accessible for everyone just because the way it's written, and I think it addresses some really important issues about modern feminism and some of the things that we face when we call ourselves feminists, like being man-haters, which I actually don't like because I love men. And then I read The Last Unicorn by Peter S. Beagle, the graphic novel version, and this was for the challenge of reading a book without letting it go. I ended up giving this a 4 out of 5 stars. It was lovely. It was illustrated in the same manner that the movie is, which is how I remember this story, and it was just really pleasant to read. But it is about a unicorn who is just trying to survive and faces some difficult challenges, and as you can probably tell from the title, she is the last unicorn. And probably my favorite read as far as nonfiction goes, aside from We Should All Be Feminists, was definitely In the Shadow of Blackbirds by Kat Winters. This was amazing. This is a historical fiction with a paranormal aspect, and it is about a girl in the year 1918, I believe, who is dealing with having a loved one overseas during World War I, as well as dealing with the Spanish influenza and all the scares that come along with that. And she's also tangled up in this spirit photography scam that someone she really doesn't like is running, but wants to utilize her because apparently she can draw spirits out very well. So this book was a real treat to read and a little bit terrifying. And this was for the challenge of read a book written by an author who shares the same first letter of their last name. So Winters, and my last name starts with a W. This time next year though, it will start with an A. Maybe. And then I read the first 3 volumes of Deadpool in the Marvel Now universe, and this was for read someone else's favorite book, and this is my fiance's favorite. However, he told me that Classic is actually his absolute favorite out of all of the Deadpool universe. He just had me start with this one because he felt like it would be a good starting point. I will be picking up the Deadpool Classic. I ended up giving the first 2 a 3.5 out of 5 stars and the third one a 4 out of 5 stars. And I genuinely enjoyed it, and it has me deeply intrigued to see the movie and just see how they put, Wade Wilson's persona out there, because it's off the wall. And finally, the first book that I ended up finishing in BookTubeAthon was Anna and the French Kiss by Stephanie Perkins, and this was for the challenge of read a book that you just really want to read, and I just really wanted to reread this, and man, it was a real treat to read again. But this is about a girl named Anna who ends up having to go to a boarding school in Paris, France, and she kind of gets a little crush over there, and it just follows that storyline, and it's just sweet and so romantically written and is just young love at its best. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars, which is what I rated it last time, and I enjoyed it. and I will reread this in the future because it just always has something for me. So I read a total of 1,708 pages and 6 books altogether, which I am pretty pleased with. One of the challenges was to read 7 books, but I did not end up finishing Armada. I don't know, it just hasn't captured me enough yet to just really want to get into it, but I consider that a success. Overall, I thought BookTubeAthon was really fun. In no way would I want every single readathon that I participate in to be like this, because man, would that be kind of stressful to have every single readathon out there to be like that. I like more relaxed readathons where there aren't video challenges and all that other stuff going on, but it's fun to have a readathon out there that has those options because it was fun to participate in this week and I enjoyed it. I thought that it was a really great way to push myself to read some different books that I just hadn't gotten around to yet, because I've been talking about reading In the Shadow of Blackbirds since January when I read The Cure for Dreaming. So 8 months later, BookTubeAthon, you got me to read that one. Thanks. But that's the last BookTubeAthon update, and I'm just excited that I got to share the week with you guys and that you guys stuck around to watch everything, including what I called the Chubby Bunny Challenge, the Fluffy Bunny Challenge, because obviously my brain was just mushed by then from all the books that I've been reading. That's all I've got though for this week. As always, thank you so much for watching. Stay weird.